All right, everyone, let's stand, please. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming and taking part in their city government business meeting. The first thing today, we have quite an agenda, but the first thing will be the mayor's report, and I'll start on that. It isn't very long. As many of you know, I spent last week in Branson attending the Missouri Municipal League Conference. The MML is a lobbying group for all cities in the state, and I serve on their Government Affairs Committee. I believe this was the best conference I've attended so far. I came away with 17 pages of notes. Additional workshops that I attended were development incentives, risk reward, big picture, using your code of ordinances to your advantage, community surveys, a valuable tool for local government, USDA Rural Development Project funding, regional planning commissions, and the Sunshine Law. Of these sessions, the USDA Rural Development Project funding was by far the most beneficial for Herman. Apparently, the Trump administration is using the USDA as a vehicle for distributing grant funds to rural communities. Here are several additional grants that may prove very useful to us that I found out about at the meeting. The Community Connect grant has had its per capita and its speed figures on broadband adjusted, so we may not qualify for a grant. The limits are $100,000 to $3 million, so that would be great. The Distance Learning Telemedia grant, details of this grant are yet to be determined, but we would qualify, I believe. The Business and Industry Guaranteed Loans is designed to bolster private credit. It can be used for commercial buildings and motels and hotels. The Small Business Grant can be used to assist small and emerging businesses, but limit is $600,000, which is still a lot of money, I believe. This could be used for street improvements, such as the 18th Street project, because of the hospital, police department, and so on. City Hall and nursing homes are all on this street. The Rural Economic Development Loan and grants recently used in one city for a family theme park, possibly for a youth recreational facility or an RV park in Herman. Intermediary relending program is a relending program with banks, and that would be a situation where we would borrow money and lend it to someone else, and that is a possibility. The community facilities loans and grants could possibly be used to construct essential community facilities, such as new city utility sheds. The Economic Input Initiative could be used for storm warning systems, sirens, police cars, etc. Other equipment for a police department and dispatch. Single-family housing is another grant, and if you're over 65, you would get a $7,500 grant without any payback. Don't exactly have the details, but we're going to get those. Schools and parks grant can be used for playground equipment, pavilions, other things like that. We really need to learn about these, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think Mark has the time to get into this in detail, so we have to consider how we're going to augment him. We can use Merrimack Regional Planning for some of it, but we really need to look into the ones that pertain to Herman, and then we have to figure out how much the matching funds are and where that'll come from. But anyway, that's good to know. These are new, most of them. The Missouri Mayors Association also held their meeting on Monday, and this group directly represents the mayors of every city in Missouri. 75 mayors were in attendance, and the main items discussed were transportation, fuel tax ballot issue, and the sales and use tax legislation that's sure to be introduced in January. On the 16th, that's Wednesday night, or the 26th, Wednesday night, on the 9 Network will be their feature presentation, River Towns. It's at 7 p.m., Wednesday the 26th. River Towns, 100 miles, 200 years, countless stories, taps into the social, natural, and cultural changes in Missouri River communities over more than 2 centuries. The film, inspired by the book Growing Up with the River, 9 Generations on the Missouri by Dan and Connie Burkhardt, tells a compelling story of how the Missouri River Valley has influenced the country and the world. We are very prominently portrayed in that, Herman is. And I would tell anyone that's interested, please watch that. It's very good. The city hosted a high number of tourists this past weekend. Many B&Bs were full and restaurants were very busy. Construction activity continues on the all-volunteer Veterans Memorial, and it is already a tremendous asset to our community. Imagine how beautiful it will be when it's complete. Volunteers are also at work on this past weekend on the Caboose refurbishment project. On-site electric is now available and progress is being made. That's my report. Now we'll have the city administrator.
Getting back to the grants, we held a public hearing for the demolition grant on Thursday and completed the required needs assessment document. And then I attended the FEMA orientation workshop for the grant on the hospital clinic building last week. And today I have nearly wrapped up the airport grant for the apron at the City Municipal Airport. And tomorrow I will be attending the Ozark River Solid Waste Management District Board meeting where they're going to talk about more grants.
Good, well, we have lots of grants, and that's a good thing. Now we have to apply for them, and it takes time. The airport is very important because there is a possibility, if we get it in shape, that the airport committee will be able to hold what's called fly-ins, which is a group of pilots flying in from all over the country for a day or spend the night, spend a couple of days. We will somehow have to provide transportation, but it's a boon to our economy here, and they will spend money here and probably tell people about how great Herman is and how beautiful, and people will then come back and hopefully spend more time. The next thing on the agenda is the Blue Oval Car Club donation presentations. The Blue Oval held its show. It was very, very well attended, especially by the public and by the people with the cars. We enjoyed it immensely, and as you know, they're a charitable organization, and they always give something back to the community. And Gary is here tonight. Greg is here tonight. And, anyway, Greg, thanks for coming. He represents the Blue Oval Car Club, and what do we have tonight?
Well, we've got,
Just saying, is there any way we could get a couple pictures?
I got it right. I realized he wasn't here, so.
Well, I gotta do this too.
this year has been very successful for us. We've had a lot of sponsors this year, which helped us get even more donations out to the community. This year, our total for the donations altogether are just a little bit over $3,800. So you can imagine what 4 charities are going to get out of this $3,800. First up, I'd like to do the Showboat Theater. Mark?
Okay. Mark? Why don't you step over here and get on, so we can all get in a picture?
There you go.
Even though we didn't have much of attendance at the theater, we went ahead and kicked in a little bit more for a sum of $660.
Very nice.
Thank you. Very nice, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Can you make that up to you?
No.
Oh, do we go do the girls?
Yeah, we did that.
Gives me a second.
Okay.
What do we have next?
Next is the Herman High School cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders, come on up.
Yes.
There's a little bit of a story behind this. When
That's that way, ladies.
Okay. When he first was doing the 50/50 drawing, because the 50/50, all of it's going to be, or half of it goes to the cheerleaders for all their work that they did to get the amount of money up for the 50/50 drawing, selling all the tickets. At noon, we had our national anthem, and when that happened, we was doing it on Pandora, and the communications for Pandora just kind of like ceased. We couldn't get it across. So we asked Beth if she knew anybody did the national anthem, and she pointed out her little daughter right here. She did a tremendous job on the national anthem, and after that, they couldn't get tickets out fast enough. They raised a total of $462 for the 50/50, and I believe it was Oscar was the recipient of the half of the 50/50. He donated it back to the cheerleaders, and I'm here to present the other half of $231 for a total of $462 for the 50/50 donation to the cheerleaders.
Take turns.
Okay, got everybody. Yeah, don't forget the check.
Yeah, that's right.
All that work, you need the check.
Is it- I think people can see what a tremendous asset this car club is to the Colonel.
Okay, now for the backpack program. Is you?
That's her.
Yes.
Okay, so if you total up so far, we've got just a little bit over $1,100 in donations. We know how important that the backpack program is to the kids in the community. So the total donation for the backpack program is $1,000.
All right.
You're up.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Or whoever's gonna, both of you,
Actually, this little guy needs to come because we do this for him, so.
there's that.
It's a deal. You can have a check. Should we put your ball down so you
Now for Park Pride, we know how important that trying to get the park rebuilt for all the kids, to have something safe to play on. I know it's expensive, and so does the club. And with all the donations and the attendance over at the show, we'd like to present the check to Park Pride for $1,700.
Wow.
I'm going to hold. Your ball won't get
What's his ball?
What's his ball back? Hey, that's important.
There.
All right, got it. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
You're
Andrew,
very
stay up
welcome.
there, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, Sherry. Thanks. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Thanks, Ben Pratt. Okay, we are moving now into the ordinance section. Dave, we want to start in on this.
All right, so on for second reading is bill number 2018-29. I believe everyone has a loose hard copy of the latest draft here. We had first reading at the last meeting, and then we talked about a couple of edits that we would like to make to it, so those have been made. And so I'll just read through these. The definition for bed and breakfast home is a private owner-occupied dwelling containing not more than 4 guest rooms in which transient guests are lodged for sleeping purposes overnight for compensation, quote-unquote guests. And this next section is new. It says a bed and breakfast home may provide food service to paying overnight guests staying at this lodging location only. Food service shall not be provided to guests, lowercase g, from other lodging facilities. The dwelling must be the primary residence of the owner of record. Accessory buildings that do not meet all applicable building codes shall not be utilized as guest rooms. And then definition of bed and breakfast inn, a private dwelling containing not more than 10 guest rooms in which transient guests are lodged overnight for sleeping purposes for compensation. Quote unquote, capital G guests. A bed and breakfast inn may provide food service to paying overnight guests staying at this lodging location only. Food service shall not be provided to guests with a lowercase g at other lodging locations. Accessory buildings that do not meet all applicable building codes shall not be utilized as guest rooms.
Okay, there you have it. Is there discussion? If not,
I move Bill 2018-29, second read.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
And next on for first reading is bill number 2018-30. It would be an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the city of Herman, Missouri and Woodhouse Construction for curb and gutter and sidewalk work for the Veterans Parkway project.
Any discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I will move to approve.
I'll second.
The motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
Read again, please.
We need to read that again then, please, Dave.
All right, bill number 2018-30, an ordinance to approve a municipal services and material contract by and between the city of Herman, Missouri and Woodhouse Construction for curb and gutter and sidewalk work for the Veterans Parkway project.
I make a motion to approve the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried.
And next is bill number 2018-31. It would be an ordinance authorizing reclassification of designated land and amendment of the zoning district map per application made by Terry and Peggy Hammer.
Citizen comments?
Citizen comments are at the end. Do I have a motion?
I move to
Discussion?
approve.
Okay. We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next.
All right, on to resolutions. Resolution number 1257, a resolution authorizing the issuance of festival space permits for October.
Okay.
Motion approved. Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. We have, do we have any unfinished business?
I do. I'm doing this under unfinished business because I did bring it up at another time in meeting. In case no one's noticed, our World War II and Korean veterans are getting in pretty short supply. Even Vietnam ended 43 years ago, and some of those guys are getting pretty long in the tooth also. A few years back, some wonderful people started a ceremony here in town to give these guys a final send-off. This week we have 2 flag ceremonies at the City Park Firehouse. Tomorrow at 10:35 for Ace Hudson, and Wednesday at 9:40 for Dennis Hagedorn. If you've never attended one of these ceremonies, I strongly suggest that you try to do so at some point. If you do, I don't think it'll be the last one that you ever attend. There's no work involved. Everything is already taken care of. Just stand as the procession passes. It costs you nothing, but it means so much to the family. So if you can, please come out and help honor those who serve.
Dave, what time is it?
Tuesday at 10:35 and Wednesday at 9:40.
Okay. Very good. I would recommend also everyone to try to attend. It's a fantastic thing, especially for the families, and it just is the right thing to do. So, okay. Do we have any new business?
One thing I'll mention is it's come up in past meetings about the status of the fiber project, and I've spoken to Mayor Kerber and to Mark a little bit in the last few days, and there's lots of moving parts to this project. As you all know, we're talking about financing and possible grant applications or low interest loans, etc. Talking about providers and who would be our service provider, talking about the infrastructure and getting the fiber to town and throughout town. And so what we're going to do here soon is get together, have a meeting with Mark and the mayor and me and the engineering company who specializes in this type of project. And I thought I'd also invite Ken Hines, attorney, if you all remember that far back. You know, he helped us out with the crossings through the conduit under the river whenever we put in the new bridge, and negotiated deals with CenturyTel and Lightport at that time that were very favorable to the city. And he has a lot of expertise in this area. So I think get those heads together and try to make some progress and move forward would be the idea.
Do we have any discussion of that? I think it's complex, and we've had trouble getting our arms around all parts of it. Parts of it are legal, and Mark and I really don't feel qualified to get involved in the law. And some of it, we have to talk to not just our attorneys, but attorneys on the side of Central Electric and others, the state statutes and so forth. Then we get into grants and other things. So I think it's time to get maybe some help coming in here. At the same time, I signed a non-disclosure agreement today so that a company that is expert in filling out loan applications can actually give us an estimate on what they might charge us to help fill out how long, 56 pages or something like that loan application. Mark is swamped, and he's done a great job. He's finished 3 or 4 grant applications in the last week or so, but he, amazingly enough, and to nobody's surprise, has other things that he has to do. So we're at the point where we need to kind of call in some help, and that's what Dave is talking about doing. So, any other discussion? Dave, do we know if there's going to be a fee, how much it would be, and can we find out?
Yeah, he would provide an engagement letter that would have the fees set forth in it, and may even want us to pass a resolution to authorize that. But he may want to come to this initial get-together first just to see what's involved
That would be nice.
before quoting fees.
Is he the attorney or the engineer?
The attorney,
Attorney.
yeah.
Yeah.
The engineer ought to do the same thing if they come
Right.
up with a price for assisting with this, how they charge, what they charge, et cetera.
Okay, any further discussion of that? If you, let's move on then. Item 8, motions, we have the minutes. What should we do?
I move to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second? We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Invoices for payment is the next item.
Make a motion to pay the bill.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bills are paid. Item C, hire special officers for Oktoberfest 2018. The chief is here, so if there's questions, how many are we going to hire? And have you picked them out and you know who they are?
Yes, usually the same.
It's the same as this list?
There's a few new ones, but I think we're short a few this year compared to the last few years, but we should be fine.
Are you going to have time to, how do you orient them, especially the newer ones? Do you give them something in writing, or do you call them together and speak with them? How do you do that?
We speak to them the day they arrive about what we expect and what they shouldn't do or shouldn't allow when they're out on the streets. And if they have any questions, ask the supervisor or one of the full-time officers what to do.
Very good. Okay, hire special officers. Any further discussion of that?
I'll make a motion to hire the officer.
We have a motion made and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They're hired. Thank you very much. Approved truck purchase for the park department. Can you tell us about the truck?
Not a whole lot. It was Ben and Wayne went to the state surplus and found this 2011 Chevy Silverado 1500 with 46,000 miles on it for $18,900. They had budgeted $20,000 in the park department for this truck. I haven't seen it, but they say it's a pretty nice truck.
So we have the truck?
Nope, not till you guys say we can.
Okay, I just wondered.
I make a motion that we approve it, and we're saving money, so,
There you go.
yes.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Truck is purchased. Approved bid for portable restrooms for Oktoberfest. We had 2 bids.
We did?
We think that the higher one is worth its best one. Am I correct?
Yeah,
And that's what
yes.
we recommend.
Yeah, we try to keep it local whenever
Well, he's
possible.
local, if we have a problem, he's right here to service it, where the other one's kind of
So
far.
it makes it a better thing, really.
I always prefer to go local if we can.
Yeah,
Just a precautionary thing in case there's a problem, which there
it could be.
could be.
Well, I think occasionally they may get turned over.
Right.
Yeah,
I
something
haven't been in one of those when it's happened, but I've heard it's happened.
Not a good place to be.
I'll make a motion, we approve the reliable plumbing bid.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion that's made and a motion seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Let's see, Municipal Corporation quitclaim deed for 514 West 8th Street. Trish, what is this?
Well, like Dave always tells us, it's kind of a formality. These people apparently are trying to sell their house, and when the title company goes to do the title search, they're looking for an original transfer from the city to an early owner that apparently wasn't on record, so the city just needs to say that we don't own it.
And we have these
Quite
every so
common.
often, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
I will move to approve it.
I will second it.
A motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Reappoint Glenn Clifton and Adam Segrist to the Landmarks Commission.
I make a motion to approve both these gentlemen.
Second.
Have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
Okay. Motion's carried. Declare the 1994 Elgin street sweeper and the F-800 dump truck as surplus property. Now, does that leave us without a street sweeper?
No, sir.
Okay.
We've got a brand new pretty one sitting there in the shed.
All right, can we get some pictures of that?
We need to. We need to christen
Okay.
it or something, right?
Right, we do need to christen it.
Yeah.
Get a bottle of champagne for more wine.
Yeah.
Don't hit it too hard.
No, we don't want to dent anything. Okay, so we have a, what's your wishes on the surplus property? Do we declare it surplus? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we follow the recommendation of Public Works Director.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Caterers permit, Lost Creek Vineyard, Stonehill Winery, Adam Plukta Winery, El Ranchito, and Fernway Distillery, Witches and Wine, 4th and Schiller Street event area, October 18th, 2018.
Motion approved.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Special event application, St. George Parish, concert, games, and concessions, amphitheater, September 28, 2018. Any discussion?
I will move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Festival event application, St. George Church, dinner and country store, church property at 128 West 4th Street, October 14th, 2018.
Motion approved.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. We have a festival event application, St. George Church Dinner and Country Store, church property, 128 West 4th Street, October 14th. Did I just read that?
We just did
That's
that.
your own now.
Festival event application,
Or Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus, breakfast, St. George Church, October 7th, 2018.
Move to approve.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Festival event application, Perseverance Foundation, bake sale and raffles, south side of Fernway property, October 13, 2018.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We have a festival event application, Herman Lions Club, Kettle Corn and Concessions, trolley lot at First and Schiller, and east side of Onkins, October 6, 7, 13, 14, 20, and 21, 2018. Onkins only on the 20th and 21st.
Make a motion approved.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. We have a festival event application, Herman J.C.'s Beer Garden, Food Stand and Music, Sesquicentennial Park, October 5th, 6th, 13, 20, and 27, 2018.
Move to approve.
I second the motion.
A motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. We have a festival event application, Masonic Temple Food Stand, Caboose area, October 6th, 7th, 13, 14, 20, 21, 27, and 28, 2018.
I make a motion to approve the event.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. A festival event application, Odin's Roasted Almonds, Bruce Parish, Hermanoff Winery, October 6th, 7th, 13, 14, 20, 21, 27, and 28, 2018.
I would very much like to turn this one down because I'm addicted to these things, but I will move to approve.
Smell good, doesn't it?
These are on, this is on their property, right? Not on the sidewalk. Okay.
Need a second.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. We have a special event application, Big Band LLC, overnight stop for bicyclists, including camping, concert, vendors, and beer tent, riverfront pavilion, and upper parking area, October 11 and 12, 2018.
October 11th and 12th, is that one of the Weekend?
No.
It's not.
It's a Thursday.
Okay, because I didn't want to conflict with the JCs with the beer garden.
How many people do they expect?
300.
300? And they're all gonna camp at the
Yeah.
riverfront?
A lot of them are. This is something that Eli had committed the city to helping with before he left. And it's bicyclists, Biking Across America. And yeah, they, I think a lot of them plan on camping. I think some of their road crew people may get other lodging.
Yeah, it's a pretty big event. We've had cyclists in a couple of times this year. And they're good visitors to have.
And they pay to park, they pay to camp, the people that are participating all pay?
I don't have a
think
problem,
so.
I just didn't want their beer tent conflicting with the JCs.
No, this is during the week.
It's a Thursday night. I believe.
Then I will move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried. We have a citizen comment, but he's not here, so we don't have any citizen comment. We moved into closed session, so do I have a motion to move into closed session?
I move we go into closed session for the purpose of dealing with matters relating to legal action, cause of action, litigation, or privileged communication between the city's representatives and its attorneys.
I'll second that.
Okay, we need a voice vote,
Aye.
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 and aye. We're now in closed session, thank you.